We're presented by Old Trapper Beef Jerky, live in New York. You know the drill. Wednesday, September 22nd. That means Which Guy Wednesday. That means Whiteboard Wednesday. The Long Show. Story time with Victor Cruz.
I have a story. I can't
Apparently,
wait to tell it.
don't want to know anything about it. Until then, Peter Schrager, Kyle Brandt are all here, and we've got to talk about the lead block.
Lead block.
Lead block.
You guys can tweet the show. You fuel it at GMFB. The Packers got their first win of the season Monday night. Solid handling of the Lions, especially in the second half as the defense shut them out. In the words of Aaron Rodgers, maybe the trolls will be off their back for a little while. But as always, there's another game right around the corner. It's Sunday night. Packers heading to San Francisco. They're taking on the undefeated 49ers. Are the Pack actually back? Are the Niners true contenders? We'll find out in primetime in Week 3. We cannot wait for this one. What will ultimately decide who wins? What we all know is a heavyweight Week 3 matchup between the Packers and the Niners, Kyle.
It's really fun that after a whole week of Rodgers having to hear that the Packers suck and he's not committed, now he has to. Remember those couple times you got your heads kicked in by the Niners? That was fun. Remember they were your childhood team that didn't draft you? We can get into that too. It's just right into another nationally televised game. And my concern with the Packers in this game is my concern with the Packers for, 15 years, that they have a beach body. They got biceps and triceps and beautiful blonde hair and no core. They're soft in the middle. You know who's going to decide this game? Bring them up. Do you know these people? You should. You might learn about them Sunday. That's the Packers' front seven. You might notice on the bottom, 1 sack this season. That's the fewest out of 32 teams. Now, Zadarius Smith not there. But listen, Rodgers and Devontae and Tanya, Aaron, they're going to be great. How's Chris Barnes going to be? How's Kingsley Kiki? How's Kenny Clark? Kenny Clark is a very good nose tackle. Kenny Clark was out there for the Mostert game and some of those other butt whippings that they have taken. It's always about, are the Packers tough enough on defense? And there's no worse team to play in the league than the Niners. They're going to go at you. Did you see Kittle last week? He's back to kittling. He's laughing in guys' faces as he pancakes them. I know Rodgers is going to be fine. I know all those guys on offense are going to be fine. Does anybody in the front seven, not even getting into the young secondary, including the rookie corner, does anybody in the front seven want to stop somebody, want to get off a block, want to make a sack, want to get pissed, want to hit somebody? I've seen them never do that before, go 0 for 4 quarters. The front seven, which I do not think many people in America can identify, will determine this one Sunday night. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I agree. I think for Aaron Rodgers, it's going to be how clean can they keep him. Obviously, in Week 1, he was all over the place, not making any plays. They were in his face, sacks, TFL, all sorts of things. The second week he came back in that second half particularly and played well and did what he had to do to get that win. Now, we're going to find out about their toughness very, very quickly. I mean, San Francisco, they're a very, very good team. They do a lot of great things defensively, good schemes. They're going to be ready and prepared for Aaron Rodgers. Can they keep him clean so he can make passes like this in and out of the backfield? Can they keep him upright so that he can be the Aaron Rodgers that we know and love? But I think the biggest thing, Kyle, you hit it right on the head, is how tough is this team?
I don't know.
We've seen them be great, throw the ball downfield, look great, all the bells and whistles. But when their backs are against the wall, when things aren't going their way, what does this team do? How do they respond? And I think we'll find out on Sunday.
I remember a playoff game in San Francisco that you played in, and it was probably the hardest hitting game I'd ever seen. Maybe Eli's real come to the moment of, hey, I am that guy. The Niners, they might have the same players. It might not be Patrick Willis and Navarro Bowman, but they still hit, right?
Absolutely. And I would say it, and Peter, I've told you this numerous times, that game was the most physically grueling game I've ever played in, and the Super Bowl was the most mentally grueling game I've ever played in. So going into San Fran, they still have that template of guys that come downhill, they hit you in the mouth, they're ready to play football. It's going to tell a lot about your team going into San Francisco this weekend, for sure.
I'm so curious what they do on offense in Green Bay. Because I feel like, all right, so Week 1 was like the wake-up call. I wrote this out. Week 2 was the warm-up, so you had the wake-up and the warm-up.
What we got?
Is Week 3 the glow-up?
Pretty good
where
warm-up.
like we see, like, this is what we...
Wake-up call, warm-up, glow-up. That's your plan?
All right, Niners, you beat us every time, and you dominate us, all this thing. What if Rodgers goes in there and just lights them up?
Okay.
And he can. Have you guys seen what the Niners are walking into on their defensive backfield right now? They're injury-riddled like you never believe. Last week was crazy. They had Josh Norman as their #1 corner who they picked up 5 days ago.
What is that secondary?
This is their secondary right now. These are the corners. And I'm sorry, I know they're great up front. And Eric Armstead, and I know Bosa, and I know these guys, and Nick Warner's going to hit you. But if Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams want to have a day and a glow-up moment and tell everyone in the rest of the world, like, don't worry about us, this is it. I just asked the producers, can I just see great Rodgers and Davante Adams? Because Yeah, they had a couple moments, and Rodgers and Adams connected and had big numbers on Monday night. But that was against the Lions at home.
Sure.
Go into San Fran with Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth on the call and do what you guys were born to do. I think they can. Now, the Niners could easily go to a cover 2, and they could say, we're taking that away. Well, if that's the case, Aaron Jones in the death. Okay. Just like you did against the Lions. Go short, go Tunyon, go Jones, and just keep on chipping away. Take what they give you. I think Nathaniel Hackett's a really good offensive coordinator. I think Rodgers still is one of the best quarterbacks in our game. On this national showcase, give us the glow-up game. Go light up this beleaguered Niners defensive backfield.
It sounds like you're as confident in the Packers' offense as you are unconfident in their defense from yesterday. That was your one concern about them, so they're really going to have to bring
score.
The glow-up.
The glow-up.
I'm into it. I'll talk about the Niners. You guys are talking mostly Packers. Some deficiencies on the Niners side. They will not win this game if they can't get the run game going. It's historically how they've blown out this Packers team or taken them to town in recent years, including that NFC Championship game where they ran for 285 yards on the back of Raheem Mostert, who is out in this one. Let's talk about those names that are gone, guys. Journeyman Elijah Mitchell. Everyone's like, scoop him up on waivers. He's now dealing with an injury. Jeff Wilson on PUP. JaMychal Hasty. I liked him for a quick minute yesterday. Last year saw some things. He is now out with an ankle. Trey Sermon has a concussion. The only healthy backs are Journeyman Trenton Cannon and Jaquez Patrick, who was signed off the Bengals practice squad. This transaction hit the wire.
Okay, what you're telling me is I need to warm up and play running back. Is that what you're saying?
Do you feel like you can?
Back's a little tight this morning, I'm not going to lie.
Your boy over at Performix on 14th, have you ready to do this? If these two can't get going, here's the solution in my head, and Triggs, you tell me if I'm wrong or if this is possible. You brought up Trey Lance. Trey Lance being a part of the game plan. Is this an opportunity then, with that running back situation, backfield, put in Trey Lance? Do we see him a little bit more under the bright lights of prime time to add a spark to this offense?
Absolutely. I think this is an opportunity where they can unveil the entire playbook, and they might have to your point. I mean, Trenton Cannon was with the Jets on the practice squad. Like, these are not. This will be the ultimate test, though, Kay, also of like the Shanahan offense versus Jimmy's and Joe's or X's and O's. Because it's that a lot of people would say you can put anyone in that offense.
That's what I say. Who's Raheem Mostert? Was he Bo Jackson?
That's fair.
An undrafted guy.
We'll see.
You know?
Trenton Cannon can go for 120 on this Packers.
I believe he can. I believe anybody can do that in the Niners offense. And that's the power they have.
I think we see a lot of Trey Lance, though, what his legs bring to the table, also what he does to
It's intriguing, especially on Sunday night. I would love that.
Me too.
But we're all kind of expecting this, and maybe Shanahan zags. I don't know. No one knows.
Well, he's going to have Victor Cruz out there, right?
Maybe he will.
I'm warmed up. I'd like to see Trey Lance in a green zone situation. Kind of don't put too much pressure on him. Kind of go in with a shrunken field, see what he can do, use his legs,
like
use
in week
his
one.
arm, play action pass, and see what he can do, and kind of provide a little bit of a change of gears, switch the gears up a little bit against that defense.
Love it. At GMFB with your tweets, what your thoughts are. Let's bring in Ian Rappaport, our insider this morning. Ian, we've got a big one to kick off week 3 on Thursday between the Panthers and the Texans right here on NFL Network. What is the latest with Tyrod Taylor?
Tyrod Taylor yesterday afternoon was officially placed on injured reserve, and that means he is out the next 3 games at least. This hamstring injury, which we talked about earlier in the week, was significant, and it didn't really look like much. Tyrod Taylor kind of tweaked it a little bit, running into the end zone. Believe you're going to see it right here. Actually tried to come back, just simply could not go. And, they tried to do some exams. It was very, very, very swollen. That usually is not a good sign. So now Tyrod Taylor is out for at least 3 games. And, he was playing really well. No interceptions, more than 120 passer rating, completing 70% of his passes. Really everything you could ever want from a quarterback not named Deshaun Watson in Houston. So now, guys, it is going to be Davis Mills, the former Stanford quarterback, former mid-round pick. Everybody lost their minds when Nick Caserio made him his first ever pick as a Texans GM. Now, in the very, very bright lights of Thursday night, Mills is going to be starting for Houston.
I mean, for a lot of things about this quarterback, I said I'd like to see him on the field, and he'll get that opportunity under the bright lights of Thursday Night Football. Ian, appreciate you. Schrager, do you have anything to add? Tell people what they need to know about Davis Mills.
Yeah, so this is a guy who's got ice in his veins. It's not going to be a moment too big for him. He's also got a cool story. He was the #1 high school quarterback in the country in 2017. The #1 recruit. David Shaw from Stanford recruits him, and he goes to Stanford. These are the other guys that were in that class. He was far and away the one. Everyone wanted Davis Mills, but it was Tua, it was Mack, it was Kellen Mond, and it's current Notre Dame quarterback, Jack Cohn.
We got the high schools on there.
We got the high schools in there. Davis Mills tore 2 ACLs in college at Stanford. Did not play a ton of games. Last year came back, in that weird COVID situation. No one really knows what they're going to get. The Texans scouted him. A lot of teams scouted him. They're like, this guy's got the right mindset, the right capability, and has the right potential if healthy. Now he's being thrown into the mix in week 3. It's a lot to ask